Alert we've been following out of Crosby. Multiple explosions and a massive fire at the Arkema Chemical Plant.
Now that's the plant that lost power after flooding from Harvey. The entire area surrounding the plant was evacuated on Wednesday as emergency officials feared exactly this scenario.
We have live team coverage for you from Crosby tonight, beginning with our Brandon Walker, who has been gathering new details tonight. Brandon.
And Bill, we're here at Crosby Dayton Road, which, as you can see, has Harris County Sheriff's deputies on standby. We're right here at one of the checkpoints within that 1.5 mile radius that has been set up around the plant. In fact, it was first responders today who called 911 after seeing smoke. Officials telling us that that fire was reported at 4. It was out by 7, but there are 6 more trailers with that chemical inside of them. So it's not a question of if, but when those trailers will go up in flames. So merely a waiting game.
This played out like we had expected it to.
Plumes of black smoke, flames shooting into the air, explosions, all from chemicals, all as expected, says the company responsible for the chemicals.
One container became engaged, and then the heat from that container was what actually initiated the combustion and ultimate fire from the second container.
That's what happened today. Chemicals owned by the company Arkema Incorporated up in flames. From Sky 2, you can see 2 trailers burning, both housing what Arkema says are organic peroxides. One trailer burned yesterday, and after today's fires, 6 more trailers remain. Likely, they too will catch fire. Here's why.
The product is going to ultimately warm up. It's going to begin to degrade, and then it's going to catch fire, just like it did today.
They catch fire because they can't handle being stored in hot conditions. Arkema says the chemicals were stored in a warehouse facility, which was temperature appropriate. Once Harvey knocked out power, backup generators were brought in. Then it flooded, some 6 feet of water flooding the facility, killing the generators. The chemicals were then stored in trailer trucks, which don't have refrigeration, hence the fires. Tonight, we saw an employee from a company called Dexter Field Services out of Beaumont at the perimeter set up around the plant. The company tests air quality, among other things, according to its website. Officials also confirmed the EPA is testing air and water. Arkema maintains the burning that's occurring is not toxic. Also, they say this was a worst-case scenario they didn't see coming.
The storm came in very quickly. Water rose very quickly. We didn't feel like we were going to be in a situation where all of our redundant levels of protection were going to be compromised.
Yeah, the company's saying that black smoke, the smoke that is billowing from that fire, is not toxic, at least for the people who live outside of that 1.5 mile radius. Still, there are concerns tonight from those people. So I asked if the company learned anything from this. Their response, they're still trying to clean up and worry about the 6 other trailers that will go up in flames. Not if, but when. Could happen tonight. They're watching for that. We're live in Crosby. I'm Brandon Walker, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Brandon. And our team coverage continues now with Channel 2's Keith Garvin.
Now, Keith, we understand you spoke with residents who witnessed the explosions and that giant plume of black smoke.
I did, Bill, Dominique, and they say they're certainly concerned, but they're more frustrated than anything because they don't feel they've been getting timely information in a timely manner. Now, behind me, you can see those lights. That's one of several roadblocks around here that Brandon mentioned that are keeping people at least 1.5 miles away from that plant.
We just saw the smoke. We were outside, saw the smoke coming up over the trees.
They didn't hear it, but people who live less than 2 miles from Crosby's Arkema plant certainly saw the results of yet another explosion inside the facility. EPA workers quickly came to the neighborhood taking water samples. Contractors set up this device to monitor air quality.
Tell us, how close do you live to this?
0.2 miles.
Moody Files literally lives across the road from the plant. Just 0.2 miles separate his property on Harvey Road from the company. He says he came back to check on his home after seeing this evening's explosion on Channel 2.
If that had blown and smoke was headed this way, we'd be getting out of here right now because you can't be breathing it.
Within steps of the plant, we spotted barrels marked peroxide, danger, and flammable. We have no way of knowing if they were empty or not, but they were strewn along the inside of the plant's fence in the wake of the flooding. The people who live here don't know when the ordeal will end. They just want answers.
There's conflicting stories. There's this many tanks, there's that many tanks, there's this many explosions. We don't really know.
They don't want to tell us a whole lot. They haven't had any town meeting or, sent out phone calls or had anybody come around knock on doors, nothing.
And this just in, a bit of breaking news from NBC News. The EPA says that preliminary analysis of the fire at Arkema Plant shows, quote, no high levels of toxic chemical detected. Again, EPA preliminary analysis showing no high levels of toxic chemical detected from that fire at the Arkema Plant. But folks around here are certainly still very concerned, and they feel right now they are awaiting a frustrating game of wait and see. Reporting live from Crosby, Keith Garvin, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Understandable, Keith. Thank you, sir. Our coverage of this breaking story extends to our website, click2houston.com. You'll find the latest updates and video right on the home page.